me show you. Just a minute. To start my board again. Here we go.
So,
Give me a little time here. My board is actually online, so why it's taking time to start? Everything is basically over cloud. These days, you have services, applications, emails, everything is available on cloud. Now, here we go. Let me show you a basic thing. Where is, yes, here we go. We're starting with AWS Global Infrastructure. What is the AWS Global Infrastructure? Means you can access AWS from anywhere, whether you are in China, India, Europe, America, Africa, you can access. The only thing is you should have internet, right? If you have an internet accessibility, I think you can use it. So, Kamesh, you are in China. So my question is very, because in China we have some kind of a restrictions. So
yes.
are you able to access all the regions from China?
No, no, no. I'm able through VPN only. I can
Yes, yes.
even for Zoom this Zoom session also to I log into my VPN.
Right, right. I got it. I got it. So I know about it because in China we have some restrictions.
Yes.
Uh, for
Uh,
Chinese government and for the Chinese country, we have some certain separate regions. But you see, this map you see in this map you can see some kind of red and green dots. So these green dots are live regions, means these regions are active. But what is a region? So region is a geographically separate area, or you can say region is an independent and separate geographical location. For example, in India we have Mumbai region and Hyderabad region, and in UK we have London region. Similarly, if you see the United States of America, we have 6 or 7 regions, right? And even in the Middle East, we can see some regions, but some regions are red. Means these regions are not still live. So AWS is preparing these data center set. So in single region, we have multiple. In single region, we have multiple data centers. Multiple data centers mean we have a group of data centers, and those group of data centers are divided into availability zone, right? So some disturbances coming in backend. So for meantime, I think you can uh, mute your mic. Thank you. So if you want to know about more detail about AWS global infrastructure, right? Here we go. You can see this. This is the link we have. I'm pasting the link and let me know, are you able to copy these links or not? This is the link for, or this is a link to see global infrastructure of AWS. I pasted it. You're waiting. So if you go here, you can see 36 launched regions. Means these regions are live. These regions are working. So the total number of regions are 36 as of now, right? So this is a big number, extremely big number. When I started my this AWS platform, when I started working in AWS platform in the beginning, the total number of regions were only 17. Now I can see the total number of regions are 36. Last year in the same time, the region number was were 33. So in last couple of months, this number reached to 36. Now we have availability zone, and we have some cloud front as well. More than 700 cloud front. POP. POP stand for point of presence. I'll tell you means each and everything. So we are not in hurry. So we need to understand all these things. And we have 42 local zones, 29 wavelength zones. The presence of this AWS is in 245 countries in territories, right? And here 135 direct connect locations. 135 direct connect locations. See, let me tell you here. Uh, I'm just going to create a small diagram. First of all, I'm creating a separate here. Let's say I'm creating here a separate board for you for this training. Just a minute. I think I don't know means why this Miro is slow today. It's really weird, right? So I'm opening a blank board. It's totally blank. And here, I don't know means it's really slow. Okay. See, what is a data center? The story starts from the data center, right? So let's say this is your rack in a data center. Is it clear? Just a minute. Here we go. Right, here we go. Let's say this is your rack in data center. You know what is the rack? I'm talking about the rack in which the company launch their server. These are the servers. These are the servers. So one rack can have multiple servers, correct or not? And the same rack will have routers and switches. For example, this is your switch, and let's say this is your router, and let's say this is your power supply. This is your power supply. So this particular rack contains multiple things: servers, switches, routers, and power supply. And this rack is multiplied. Actually, in data center, you have multiple racks. Correct or not? In data center. In a single data center, you have. So let's say this is your rack. This is your rack. Okay, I should like this, right? Like this. And this is your small data center. So I don't have a big space here. So I'm just showing you this is a kind of a data center. Let's say this is your data center, right? Means how actually all these things are connected in AWS. I'm just trying to show you here. This is a data center. And this data center, right? Let me tell you. So we have multiple data centers. Let me show you. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay. This is here we go. This is a one data center, and in a one, these are the data centers. And these are the number of data centers in one availability zone. And let's say this is your availability zone. What is the availability zone? Availability zone is a logical group of data centers. If somebody is saying what is availability zone, you will say this is a logical group of data centers. Let's say this is your availability zone. Availability zone. Right. Here we go. And you can have a multiple availability zone in a region. So you will find at least two or three availability zone in a region. Let's say these are the availability zones. So this entire group of availability zones comes under one region. This is called a region. Region is what? Region is basically geographically separate or isolated area. Region is a basically area where the number of availability zones are there. And one availability zones has a group of data centers, and all these availability zones are very tightly connected with each other, right? And all these connectivities are managed by AWS only. So this is the thing. This is one region. And you have multiple regions throughout the world. Let's say this is one region, this is another region. So I don't have much space here. Let's say I'm taking three regions. And these three regions could be in a three different continents. Let's say one region is in Australia, one region is in Europe, and one region in, let's say, USA. So all these regions are further connected with each other through the redundant connection, through the multiple connection. Even if one connection is failed, so we have an alternate connection to establish communication between regions, right? And these are fiber optic cables are basically available between the regions, and these are also a part of AWS. So this entire thing is known as, for example, taking a very simple example here. This is called AWS Global Infrastructure. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes,
Jason?
yes.
Right. Jason, can you listen me? Ramesh, I can hear you very well. And who is this Xiaomi? Xiaomi. Who is there?
Yes, yeah, listening.
Yeah, who is the third person? I don't see his name. Jason, you are in India or you are taking this training from outside?
I'm in California.
You are in California. Oh, great.
Is
See,
it?
so
Yes, that is.
this is not an issue. So this is a region, right? If somebody is asking what is a region, so I'll share all these notes with you. And one more thing, there is a one more diagram to explain what is a region. You can see here, this is a circle. In this circle, I'm showing the circle is a basically region. And this circle is showing we have multiple availability zones, AZ1, AZ2, AZ3. Every region has a code and a city is defined. For example, we have a region in Mumbai. So Mumbai has a code AP South 1 1. Let's say you have a region in North Virginia. North Virginia. So you can see the code of that US East 1. US East 1. But from where you will see all these things? You simply just log in into your AWS account, right? So whenever you create any infrastructure in AWS, you always choose a region. Let me show you from where you can see. You go there, just a minute, AWS Management Console, right? Here we go. And this is my root account, and this is fine. My account is MFA enabled, right? So I have to type the code. I'm just reading this code from my mobile application, right? My mobile is synced with this account. Sorry, authentication failed. Something is wrong. Let me. Right. Yes. 43633. Fine. This is okay. So, see, so this is your console home. Means this is the very first screen when you log in into your AWS. Do you see right hand side on the top? Pacific, Asia Pacific, Mumbai. So Mumbai is region, right? And if you means click on this link, you can see a list of regions here. North Virginia, Ohio. North California, Oregon, Mumbai. So these one, two, three, four, the first four regions you can see in United States. So North Virginia is a city name here or state name in United States. And in front of that, you can see US East 1. US East 1 is the code of this region. Similarly, Ohio, you can see US East 2 is the region code, North California. So you have not to remember it. You should know means how and from where you can see all these things. So great. So whenever you design any infrastructure in AWS, so first of all, you have to choose region, right? And if you're creating one virtual machine in one region, the same machine is not visible in any other region. Means if you're creating your infrastructure in, let's say, in North Virginia, the same infrastructure is not visible or you cannot see in any other region. So your infrastructure will be a region specific. So you have to just take means keep this concept in mind. And now, so this is you can see here. This is a circle which is showing region, and within the region, and every region has a basically some area and parameter. So this particular region, according to AWS, is basically spread around about 100 kilometers from the center. So all these data centers are available within this perimeter, right? So all these availabilities. So this is AZ1, AZ2, and AZ3, and every AZ also has a code. Let's say the region is AP South 1. So your AZ1 is AP South 1A, AZ2 is AP South 1B, and AZ3 is AP South 1C. So means in front of this region code, you are putting ABC. So AWS is adding ABC. So with the help of this code, you can come to know that in which particular region or availability zone you are working. And every availability zone is a logical group of data center. But why availability zones? Basically, what is the function of availability zone? Let me tell you one thing very simple. Let's say you are creating your infrastructure. So I'm here. Let's say I'm here. So I'm deleting it. So this is really heavy. I will share with you. Not an issue. I have notes. Let's say, for example, you are creating two machines. Right. Here we have machine, and machine is known as EC2 instance. Let's say this is my EC2 instance. Right. This is my EC2 instance, one in EC2 instance. So whenever you create a EC2 instance, you always choose a region and availability zone. Right. So my clients need high available resources. So the first of all, you will choose a region. So these machines should be in a region. Let's say I'm taking North Virginia. Right. So my entire infrastructure, for example, these are the machines. My entire infrastructure is in North Virginia. Right. And I'm going to create two instances here. So in order to provide high availability, so what are the best practices? I can create both machine and the same availability. But what are the best practices? The practices says that you should create these instances in a different availability zone. So let's say this is your AZ1 availability zone 1, and this is your availability zone 2. It means if one availability zone is down because of any technical reason, or your data center in availability zone 1 is down because of any technical reason, it means that another machine of the of that particular application of the same set is available. So in order to provide high availability of your application, so your scalable instances, your scalable virtual machines must be in a different availability zones. That's why we are using multiple availability zones in a region. And so region is providing what? Region is providing high availability, right? And fault tolerance as well. So we will cover later on. But right now you should understand what is the purpose of availability zone. Now we are going back, and here we go and see. This is a diagram. This diagram gives you a little idea about region availability zones and data centers and other uh, mm, uh, means other end locations of AWS global infrastructure, and we know them as edge locations. So these are the red color boxes. I'll explain you what is the edge location. So first of all, let's say this is a region. Within a region, we have three availability zones, and every availability zones has some data centers. These are the data centers you can see in green color, right? And within the and all these data centers, so all these data centers are connected with the edge locations. Edge locations again is a simplified data centers, or you can say these are small data centers. Also, in a very basic language, if I say these edge locations are uh, available in all major cities, and these are the mini data centers. And what is the purpose of edge location? The purpose of the edge location to distribute content. To distribute content. So we are using edge locations for CDN. CDN stand for Content Delivery Network. And every edge location has these are the small data center. It means these edge locations will have servers, routers, switches, storages, everything, right? And we have more than, now this number is changed, we have more than 700 edge locations globally available all over the world, and these edge locations are available in all major cities. Understand, right? Let me tell you means how you can define. For example, for example, let's say this is my region, right? This is my region. Let's say this is my region. Region is, let's say, it's a you're gonna say Mumbai. Mumbai is a city, is a central part of India, right? So this is a big region, and we have the some other cities available in India. For example, New Delhi. New Delhi is the capital of India, and we have Bangalore, Bangalore, and let's say I'm taking only three cities, right? Let's say I'm taking the three cities here. I'm taking the three cities here. Why I'm taking the three cities? I'm just trying to explain you that this is a region. Within this region, we have multiple availability zones. This is availability zone. This is the AZ1 and AZ2, right? So generally, we are using AZ1 and AZ2 to create infrastructure of our AWS. We are going to create infrastructure. Let's say we will create here a virtual machine here within the AZ. Here we will create VPC. VPC is what? VPC is a network service, right? We will create a network, or we will create a storage here, or database here. Similarly, the same thing you can do in AZ2. We can have VPC, virtual machines, storages, but you want to distribute your content globally over the internet. You have your clients, and these clients are using your application globally. So, how you can basically distribute your content just like a Netflix? Just assume that what the Netflix does. Everybody knows about what is a Netflix. Netflix is a OTT platform, and you can access means that OTTP or OTT and Netflix from anywhere globally. Means you can see those pictures, series from anywhere. But in order to get the smooth operation, what the Netflix does, Netflix distribute the content you are watching near to your location, and this is the nearest location. For example, people are watching Netflix from New Delhi, Bangalore, and Calcutta, right? So they are watching a common picture. For example, they are watching a common movie. They are watching a common movie, but the same movie is distributed right near to your place. Let's say this is the movie. Let's say this is your movie. So this movie is available in Delhi. This movie also is copied in Bangalore, edge location, and this movie also is copied in a Calcutta. So this is what? So it means you can get a very smooth access on this content, right? Without any latency. So these are edge locations. These are edge locations, and edge locations are the part of AWS global infrastructure. Is it clear or not? And it means all these edge locations are connected with your virtual machine or storages. Let's say this is your Netflix virtual machine, and the content is being distributed through the storage to your edge location, and you can access this movie or program without any latency because of these edge locations. So edge locations are providing CDN. CDN is what? Content delivery. CDN. So the edge locations are working on content delivery, delivery service or network. Right? Is it clear, guys? You can have a question. You please let me know. I'm just trying to explain you what is edge location. Edge locations are the mini data centers. These are being used for content delivery network to distribute the content that you want to distribute to your all clients. So it means in these edge locations, your content is copied. So the your client near to this edge locations can access this content without any latency. Is it clear? Jason, Amesh?
Means uh, I have one doubt. Means region to region we don't have the replication, but edge location to edge location we will have the replication.
No, no, I didn't connect these edge locations here. See, I'm
Okay.
saying your content is distributed in all edge locations. To
Okay.
access, actually, the client is sitting on internet. They are using internet because let's say you want to watch a movie through the Netflix. So what is mandatory for that? Internet connectivity, yes or no? You
Yes.
can
Yes.
use Netflix only with the help of the internet connectivity. So if you are accessing your content, that content can be your website, that content can be movie, that content can be picture, that content can be your gaming application, that content can be anything, right? So, but if the same thing is being used by multiple users globally, so it is not possible to provide services through your server. So one server seems insufficient to deliver the content to all those users. So what is the better thing? The better thing is if you don't want to face any latency, right? If you need a smooth operation, in that case, we use edge locations. We distribute the content in all edge locations. And right now, at present, we have a 700, more than 700 edge locations are there. How many? 700 plus edge locations are there globally. So it means in all major cities. So some people are in Paris, London, Tokyo, Sydney, Canberra, New Delhi, right? And many other cities are there. So all major cities globally, we have edge locations. So it means if you use CDN technology, CDN is what? CDN is a technology to distribute your uh, deliverable content to these edge locations. So edge locations are mini data centers where your data is copied to access for your client. Means your client can access very easily from these edge locations. Right. So this is a very simple idea I'm giving. So I'll cover this CDN practically. Each and everything I will cover practical. Today I'm just giving a little idea means how actually things can be occurred. So this is a map of your uh, AWS global infrastructure, and all these edge locations are providing the redundant link between data centers. So one edge location you can see is connected with the multiple data centers. Even if one link is failed, right? If the one link is failed, you have an alter link to reach the same data center. Can you see here? This data center has a link with the multiple edge locations. This data center has a link with the multiple edge locations. Even if one link is failed, so you have multiple other links to reach edge locations and as well as the data center, right? So this is what we have. So three things are very important. The major thing is region, second is availability zone, and third is edge location. Let me show you means how if you're creating a machine, how you can select your region and availability zone. Okay, see, let me show you. See, for example, open. I'll explain you about this console home also, but today this is very simple and uh, conceptual class I'm giving here. Let's say EC2. EC2 is what? EC2 is the name of a service. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. I will start this service later on. But for now, I'm just telling you, means in order to create your machine, you have to open EC2. This is the dashboard of the EC2. So in which region I'm working right now? Can you see here? In which region I'm working right now? I'm in Mumbai, right? I'm in Mumbai. And you can see the total number of instances are zero. We do not have any virtual machine. Whenever I say instance, so it's a meaning I'm talking about a virtual machine. So instance is your virtual machine. So right now, at present in Mumbai, we do not have any instance. So let's say I'm changing my region. I want to launch, let's say I want to launch a machine in a North Virginia and US East 1 region. Sorry, availability zone. So left hand side, we have instances. You click on instances. I can see there is no instances are there, right? So as you click on launch instance, the first thing you selected a region. Secondly, you need to provide the name of your machine, let's say Linux server, and go down. This is my AMI. I'll explain you later what is the AMI. AMI is a kind of a template to launch machine. And this is the instance type. Instance type is a configuration. So what configuration you're needing? Because we are using AWS free tier account, so we should not use any other instance type because T2.micro is available free of cost. So I'll choose T2.micro. If you are choosing T2.micro, one virtual CPU and 1 GB RAM is available for this machine. And the key pair is for basically the secure authentication, right? So instead of providing simple username and password, you should use key pair here. So what is the purpose of the key pair and what means what algorithm we are using? I'll explain you later. But for now, I'm creating a new key pair. Let's say this is my networking and key pair 01, right? Let's say this is my key pair name. You can write any key pair. And this is the algorithm RSA. We have two different type of algorithm, RSA and ED 25519. I'm using RSA, and the key type is private definitely, and .pem is a key format. Okay, we have two formats. One is a PEM format, another is a PPK format. PEM format is generally we are using for open SSH, and .ppk format we are using putty if you want to take access of the machine, if you want to take remote of the machine from the putty. In that case, you should have ppk key. But if you are not using putty, instead of putty, if you are using any other format or SH tool, in that case, we are using PAM format. So most of the cases these days, we are not using putty, right? Most of the cases, we are not using putty. So I'm choosing .pam here and create a key. So as you click on the create a key, it will ask you to download the key. So what I'm doing, I'm downloading the key. So let's say I'm downloading the key in my download folder, and let's say click on save, and this is done. Once the key is downloaded, so you have downloaded the private key of this pair, because you are creating a pair of the keys here. The one is a public key, another is a private key, right? So you downloaded a private key. Now here in the network setting, can you see here? This is your network, right? This is your network. So right now you are using a default network because you don't have any network. So you will use a default network, and default network is provided by AWS in order to launch your machine. And this is a added button. You click on the added button, and why I selected the added button? Selected the reason I want to select a subnet, and every subnet is basically pertaining to availability zone. So if you open it, can you see here? We have one, two, three, four, five, six total subnets are there, and every subnet basically available in a one availability zone. So this subnet is in US East 1C. This is a availability zone. So what I'm showing here, so whenever you launch a machine, you always select a region and you always select a availability zone. Let's say I want to use availability zone US East 1A. So I will click on this subnet, right? So this subnet is available in this availability zone, right? No issue if you have any confusion. So day by day, we will cover more topics and you will have more examples and you will understand, right? And now auto assign public IP address. If you want to access this machine from the internet, so the IP address, the public IP address must be enabled. And now you can go down, no other setting to be changed, and SSH must be allowed. So you ensure that the SSH from the internet is allowed and click on launch instance. And your instance is launched. I'll not take a big class today. I'm giving an introduction because nobody is there. The strength is very low today. So tomorrow, sincerely, we have to start the topic after the completion of this because I've given a very basic idea about global cloud infrastructure. So this is the machine, right? Can you see this is the machine? And the machine is in running state, and the machine type is T2.micro. T2.micro is a configuration. So I want to take the remote of this machine. So this is the public IP address of the machine. Do you see here? And this is the private IP address of the machine. So what I'll do, so if you want to take the remote of this machine is running in North Virginia. And what is the availability zone? The availability zone is US East 1A in North Virginia. Can you see here? So you specify two things here, region and availability zone, in order to launch this machine. And there is a connect button here. If you click on connect button, it will ask you to connect your machine using the public IP address. This is the public IP address. Now click on connect. So as you click on connect, you can take the remote of the machine successfully. Everything is fine. If everything is fine, it will show you the remote of this machine. Just here. You can see here, you took the remote of this machine, isn't it? So this is the way. So you successfully launched this machine in North Virginia, United States, and you have used here US East 1A availability zone. Let's say this machine is running, you don't need this machine anymore. So you select this machine, go to action, and sorry, go to instance state and terminate the machine. Terminate means you can delete the machine. Either you can stop the machine or you can terminate the machine. Let's say I'm terminating the machine. I don't need this anymore. So this is the thing. So this machine is being terminated. That will take a little time. So this is uh, the thing. Actually, this your region and other availability zones are connected. Okay. So tomorrow we will start with, let's say, local zone. What is a local zone? Because just like availability zones, we have two more zones are there. One is a local zone and another is a wavelength zone. So local zone and wavelength zone have some purposes, right? So we'll explain what is the need of local zone and what is the need of wavelength zone. So in which circumstances we should use local zone and for which circumstances we should use wavelength zone, right? But generally, what kind of a zone we are using? We have three different type of zones. Let me tell you once again, right? And one is availability zone, right? Yeah. We have three different type of zones, availability zones, and all these things are the part of region. So you have to be So again and again, I'm just trying to explain you here. And all these zones are the part of region. And we have multiple region. And every region will have multiple availability zones, multiple zones, and a wavelength. So tomorrow we'll start where we can use local zone, where we should use wavelength zone, and uh, generally we are using almost 80 to 90% people are using availability zones for their regular infrastructure. If you are creating a regular infrastructure, if you don't have a specific requirement, and if you want to save the cost of your infrastructure, in that case, availability zone is the best choice, right? So I think for today it's enough. Tomorrow I'll start, and I'll start from here, local zone and wavelength. Any question you have, Jason, Kamesh?
No, no, no. I can understand, Sanjay.
Mhm. So tomorrow we'll start. Jason, you have any question?
No, no, no.
Mhm.
Thank
So
you.
tomorrow, same time, we'll start, right? And we'll continue. Thank you. Thank you, Tia.
Okay.